Hi, this is Sweet June coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, uh, like button, and the share button, and the notification bell. Every time I do a video, you will be notified. Hoping everybody is having a blessed Monday. Hoping everybody is practicing social distancing, washing your hands for 90 seconds, and making sure that you're wearing your mask every time you go out. And I know it's getting close to Christmas time, guys. I get it, and people want to shop and buy gifts for their family and children and all that kind of stuff. And I'm noticing that the stores are getting more packed. But just be careful. Just be careful. Just making sure that you try to practice social distancing as much as you can in the store. I know that's easier said than done, but just be careful. Just be careful because the virus. Well, we got it's on an upsurge. It's getting worse and worse. And there's still a lot of deaths. Yeah, it's be careful. Be careful, guys. Um, I want to talk about. Actually, I've had this video on my list for quite some time. Um, it was originally supposed to be a coffee talk video, but I'm just, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. So you can't tell these young folks nothing. That's this video. You can't tell these young folks nothing. These young people, they don't listen. You try to tell them something. Us older people, males and females, we try to school them. We try to we try to educate them and try to tell them. I like to think, I'm 53 years old or 53 years young, and I like to think in my 53 years I've acquired some knowledge and some wisdom. Do I know everything? No, I don't know everything. Um, but I like to think that because I'm still learning too. I think that life is a continual learning process. You never stop learning. But I like to think that I've acquired some wisdom in my 53 years on this earth. I haven't been around the block a whole lot, but I've been around there at least a couple times. So, I you kind of learn a few things as you go. Sometimes you learn through trial and error. You make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes are major mistakes. But if you got any sense, and if you are a wise person, you will learn from those mistakes. And if you're a person that wants to change and wants to be the best person that you can be, um, particularly lining up with God's standards. Um, and if you basically just want to evolve and just want to change, you will learn from those mistakes, and you will take those mistakes as life lessons. And you can also learn from others. You can also learn from observing others' um, actions and mistakes. Um, you can also learn that way too. I've also learned things from observing other people and looking at other people's actions and mistakes. So I've learned that way as well. But we never stop learning. Life learning is a lifelong thing. It's a continual process. Um, but when we get to be a certain age, I think that it is the older generation's responsibility to educate the young people. I just think that that's our responsibility. As I know, I like talking to the elderly. I like talking to my elders. I love, I really enjoy talking to the elders actually because um, your elders can teach you a lot of things because they didn't been there. You know, I mean, elders. I'm talking about people that's older than me. Um, I like talking to the elders because they can teach you a lot of things. You learn a lot of things from your elders. You know, when I talk to my elders, I learn a lot of things. When I talk to my mom, I learn a lot of things from my mother. I listen to my mother. Well, I listen to her more now than what I used to. I was hard headed, just like a lot of these young people. I was hard headed at one time. You know, as I get older, I'm listening to her more now. And her, I talk to her, and I talk to other elders, and I learn a lot from talking to my elders. I learn a lot, and I listen. I listen to them because they have a lot of wisdom. You know, they've been here longer than you. They've experienced more than you have. So they're coming from a place of wisdom. You know, they know what they're talking about. They're coming from a place of wisdom. Now, not all older people are wise. Some older people are ignorant. But most older people are wise. They come to a place where they have a certain amount of wisdom. And it, like I say, it is the older people' responsibility, us elders, it is our responsibility to educate our young people, and not just our children or young people in our family, but any young people that we encounter, you know, whether it's here on social media or in the workplace or anywhere where you have the opportunity to interact and talk to younger people. You kind of give them, educate them, and hold on with my light. You kind of educate them and hopefully, give them words of wisdom, and hopefully and prayerfully they will listen to you. In most cases, they don't listen. It goes through one ear and out the other. In most cases, you be trying to tell them stuff, it goes through one ear and out the other. They don't listen. So when I come here, I just feel like that's us older people's responsibility. So when I come here on YouTube, and it's also our responsibility to educate our young people spiritually as well. You know, we educate them as parents when we're raising our children. That is actually our responsibility as parents, is to educate our children, give our children a spiritual education as well as in other areas. Um, so when I see some young people here on YouTube, or even on Facebook as well, I like to give them words of encouragement, words of advice, words of encouragement, because particularly these young ladies, I didn't already been where they trying to go. So I can give them some good tips and advice. But the unfortunate thing about it, and I'm not just talking about females, I'm talking about males too. The unfortunate advice is that, or the unfortunate thing is that these young people don't listen. You can't tell these young folks nothing. Now I'm gonna talk about my youngest son first, because I got some more points that I'm gonna make. I'm gonna talk about him first. My youngest son, I love him. I love him to death, but he's stubborn. And he sees this video, oh well. And him and my other son, they don't hardly watch my content. But if he sees this video, well, it is what it is. I tell him what I'm saying on here. I'm gonna say to his face. I please, you know. So I love my youngest son, and my oldest son. He could be a little bullheaded too, but he's getting older. My oldest son is 31, and he's getting older. So as he's getting older, he's getting a little bit more wiser, and he's more prone to listen to me now. He's still um, he's very opinionated. But my oldest son is getting older and he's getting wiser, and so he's understanding more things than he did when he was younger. And so he has when I have a discussion with him, he has a better understanding of what I'm trying to tell him and what I'm trying to say, and he's more prone to listen. Whereas even though he makes sure he gets his little 2 cents in there, but my youngest son is stubborn. Well, my oldest son is actually trying to educate me now, and he actually, I'll be honest, he's trying to educate me now and teach me some things, and he gives me some things to marinate on. So kudos to my oldest son for that. But my youngest son, I mean, he's 20 years old, young, full of piss and vinegar. He he's stubborn. So when I try to talk to him and try to tell him things, he it, he doesn't receive it well. Um, and sometimes we have discussions. I'm trying to get him to do an interview with me, and we can talk about this rap thing he's trying to do and the rap culture and stuff like that. I'm trying to get him on here to interview with me. When you guys see it, well, I made it happen because I want to discuss some of the discussions that we have. I want to actually have that discussion with him on here. It'll let you guys know how bullheaded he is. I love my youngest son, but he's hard headed. I can't tell him anything. I'll be trying to educate him. There was a young man on. I was sleeping on the couch and I had my YouTube on, and I don't know who this young man was. I woke up and glanced at the TV a couple of times, and he was a light skinned biracial. Maybe he looked like he was biracial young man, and he was talking about how you could be sleeping but you're still hearing what's going on the TV. I was sleeping, and I was sleeping like maybe in a semi-conscious state. My body didn't want to move. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to open my eyes. But I could hear what I looked at the glass at the TV a couple of times, but I could hear what the young man was saying, and he was interviewing with somebody, and he was it the Breakfast Club? I don't know if it was the Breakfast Club or one of these. Someone was interviewing him, and he was talking about how he was in the entertainment industry, and he was talking about how he was being raped. This was deep. I was sleeping, but I mean I think I was in a semi-conscious state because I could still hear what this young man was saying. He was talking about how he was being raped by people in the industry, and he mentioned some. I'm not going to mention the names that he mentioned, but he mentioned some very important people in the industry that was raping him. He was being raped. What happened was he signed these contracts, and because he had signed these contracts, these people felt like they could do whatever they want to do to him because he was under contract. And then it's like they kept threatening him. They're saying, well, if you don't do this, then we're gonna your career is gonna be, you're not gonna have a career. You know how they do, they threaten people and everything. I know some Harvey Weinstein and them got in trouble, and that's one of the people that he mentioned, by the way. um, he had got in trouble by doing that, making threats to those people, telling them, well, you're not going to have a career, this and that and the other, and taking advantage of people sexually. And so he was talking about how he was being taken advantage of sexually. They were raping him, and they were threatening his career. He had signed a contract, so when you sign a contract, it's legally binding. So if you break the contract, then they can come back and sue you. So that left the door open for them to be able to take advantage of him. It was really sad what this young man was saying. It was so sad. He was saying that his manager was taking him to go to these meetings with these higher ups in the industry, and every time he would go to these meetings, he said they would rape him. He was saying some terrible that they was doing some terrible things to him. I mean, it was horrible, and that goes on a lot in the industry. You know, more often than what people realize. It goes on a lot, and it's really felt bad for this young man. He said he tried to go to the police. They had the police rigged too because he tried to go to the police, and the police told him a male can't be raped. That's what the police told him. Said a male cannot be raped. So they had the police rigged too. They was paying the police off. Oh yeah, it's a lot of crooked people in the police force. So even though I was sleeping, I was in a semi-conscious state. I could still hear what this young man was saying. And after I wanted to cry after everything this young man said that he had to endure in the entertainment industry. And so I couldn't help but to think about my son, how he's trying to get into the industry, and um, and I think I did mention to him about that. I said you got to be careful. I said because these people are, um, raping and taking advantage of people, um, and you know, telling them, well, we can't sign you unless you do A, B, and C for us, sexually or whatever. So, I talked to my son about that, but like I said, it went through one ear and out the other. And he said, well, Mom, I'm not going to be giving up no booty for no contract. That's what he said. I said, I'm just letting you know, son. I'm just letting you know. I mean, that these things happen and just be aware of it. And so I try to educate him and try to tell him about the different things going on in the industry. And he keeps saying that this is his passion, this is what he wants to do. And I get it that this is his passion, but it's like every time I try to talk to him and try to tell him, he doesn't listen. It's like he goes through one ear and out the other. I can't tell him nothing. He knows it all. Um, and then I talk about every time a young man gets killed somewhere, as a rapper down in Texas got killed, I tell him, I bring it to his attention. I said, another rapper got killed, man. He said, yeah, but that's because they go back to they community. I mean, some of what he said, I'm not saying everything he's saying is wrong. Some of what he's saying is right, but it's like he has an answer for everything. Every time I try to come back at him for something, he has an answer for everything. So I can't tell him nothing. So it's like, he's determined to do what he's doing. And I understand the concept of having dreams. I get it. I had dreams too when I was younger. I still have dreams, believe it or not. And but I mean, I don't know. You have to look at the reality of the situation. Sometimes we can get so caught up in a fantasy about how we want things to be, or how we think things, how we imagine it and picture in our mind. We don't look at the realities of the situation, and he's young, and um, you know. So he's one of the people that I can't talk to, and I can't tell anything. And of course, if I try to educate him spiritually, he shuts me down. I did have a discussion with him the other day, and I asked him, was he reading his Bible, and he said, no, actually, to tell you the truth, Mom, I don't. And at least he's being honest. And I said, well, if you could read at least one scripture a day. I told him, one scripture a day. I said the Bible could save your life. I said if you could read one scripture a day. That was all because I got a spoon feed him. And so that was all I said. And then I left it alone. He didn't shut me down. He kind of actually listened to me. I was like, wow. So, so he's one person that can tell him, try to tell him something. He got an answer for everything. It goes to one ear and out the other. And another thing, when you try to talk to these young ladies, you guys know I come on here, and I'm not just talking about young ladies on social media, but young ladies in general, but mainly the ones on social media, because I talk to them more. You know, I come on here and I try to educate these young ladies. Some of the other older ladies on here do too, and you try to tell them different things because we didn't already been there. We didn't already been where they're trying to go, and you try to tell them, the different. Just like the video I did the other day about cuffing season. If you guys haven't got a chance to check that out, check that out. It's homosexual season. It's cuffing season. Okay, young people, young women should be listening to that video. I should have more hits on it than what I got. I got 51 hits on it. I should have more hits on that video than what I have. Young women should be listening to that video. Well, that's a video for all women to listen to, even older ones. It's like you try to tell them something, you try to educate them and tell them, things about these men and how they operate and how they move, um, because we didn't been there, done that. They don't listen. I mean, when I was younger, I was hard headed too, and I learned the hard way. Experience is the best teacher. Sometimes it's best to just you can tell them and you can try to educate them, but sometimes it's better for them to just learn. And it seems, and it, especially too when it comes to my son, um, you might have to let him hit it. You might have to let him go through it. You know, um, because that's 9 times out of 10. That's the only way they're gonna learn. It's really sad because especially some of these young ladies, it's like watching a train wreck. You want to look away, but then you look anyway. It's like they're headed for disaster. It's really sad, but unfortunately, they might have to just go ahead and go through it, and that's the only way they're gonna learn. They might have to experience the heartbreak, the devastation, and the heartbreak, and being humiliated and feeling used, being used and humiliated and heartbroken. They might have to go ahead and yet might have to let them go ahead and to endure that. Then that's going to be the best way that they're probably going to learn. The experience is the best teacher, and trial and error. And then they can think back, well, yeah, they was trying to tell me A, B, and C. I mean, I learned some of my greatest lessons in life by experiencing going through it. So experience is the best teacher. So you might have to let them go ahead and go through it. We try to educate our young people, and we try to tell them what's what and what's best. Um, but they might have to go through it. You might have to let them go ahead and go through it, and that's the only way they're gonna learn. It's like when my oldest son was a baby, and I kept telling him he kept touching the oven, and the oven was hot. And I kept telling him, stop touching that oven. No, no. He's just a baby. No, no. Don't touch the oven. Pull him away. No, no. He tried again. I said, no, no. Hard-headed, little hard-headed butt would try to again. Okay, this time I let him go ahead and try it again. He got himself burned. It wasn't, it wasn't bad or anything. Well, he touched it. He didn't get burned, but he touched it and realized it was. Okay, well, now you know that not to touch the oven. Mama tried to tell you. So it's they keep biting you. So like little kids go through a biting phase. Little babies, a lot of babies go through a biting phase and keep biting. Stop biting, mama. Stop biting me. No, no, no biting. You want to bite me again? No, no. Okay, they bite me again. I'll bite them back. Okay, well, now you know how it feels to be bitten. I told you not to bite me. No, they didn't bite me no more. So these were my kids now, my kids. So that's the only way people learn. People learn from experience. My mother tried to tell me different things. It went through one ear and out the other. I was being hard headed. I had to learn the hard way. So I had to go and be stupid and go do it anyway and go through it, and then I get bit, you know. Then I said, oh yeah, I should have listened to mom. She did try to tell me. Or sometimes it's other people be trying to tell you stuff and you don't listen. So that's the best way to learn sometimes. We just gotta go through stuff. And then once we go through it, they go through it, then they say, oh yeah, people did try to tell me. Now I understand what they were saying. Then they got a better understanding of why they shouldn't have did A, B, and C, or why they should have listened in the beginning. So that's what these young folks. That's what you got to do. You have to. Unfortunately, we got to let them go through it. Um, and once they go through it, then they'll learn that okay, I see. Like my son, he gonna have to go through some things, and then once he go through them, unfortunately, as mothers, it's painful. We don't want to see our children go through stuff. You know, we don't want to see our children suffer. We don't want to see our children go through stuff. Um, I want to protect them. It's like a part of me wants to protect them. I want to protect them. They're always your babies, so you want to protect them. You know, and but you gotta let them. You gotta let them go. You gotta let them go, and you gotta let them do what they do, and then they'll learn the lessons on, um, whatever it is that you're trying to educate them on and shield them from. They have to go through it in order to learn. Then they'll learn the lessons. If they're wise, they will learn the lessons. Some people don't have no wisdom. Some people be stuck on stupid, so to speak. They be stuck on stupid, and they still, even after they go through it, they still don't learn nothing. But that's just ignorance. Might have to go get your head checked out. Might have to get yourself checked out mentally. Figure out maybe something's going on up there mentally. You're not connecting any dots. You keep going through the stuff and you're not learning. You're not connecting any dots. You might need to go get yourself checked out. So I see these young ladies here on YouTube. It's like watching a train wreck. These different people try to tell them things and goes through one ear and out the other. They don't listen. So they're gonna have to learn from experience. Gotta let them go through it. That's the only way they're gonna learn. All we can do is pray for them and pray that they get it. You know. So if you're new to my channel, once again, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, the share button, and the like button, and hit the notification bell. Until the next video, peace and love. This is Sweet You.